I don't know my future, and I don't want to. No, said Carlo after Madrid's exit from the Champions League, only fueling rumors of a possible departure. In this video, we will answer the pressing questions. So what is Ancelotti's future? Who is to blame for the defeat against Arsenal? And which players are failing this season in Madrid's lineup? Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. And we're starting now. We saw everything that was written on social media, like they are planning to make a comeback. We showed great mentality. I think we felt confident from the first to the last minute. We demonstrated our quality. Madrid spent the whole week preparing for the rematch against Arsenal in the Champions League quarterfinals, and made everyone believe they could come back from a 3-goal deficit after the defeat in London. That's true, but in practice, we saw something strange on the field. It didn't seem like Carlo and Madrid had a real plan for a comeback. Arsenal came to defend. In the first half, they practically did nothing. We couldn't create the chances we wanted. Vasquez's words seemed somewhat surprising. Arsenal indeed had a 3-goal advantage and had the right to come to the Bernabeu, play according to the score, and play defensive football. There are no questions for them because the questions are only for Madrid. What chances were the hosts planning to create, and why couldn't they do it? Madrid didn't make a single shot on target against Arsenal before the break. That doesn't really sound like a plan to come back from 3 goals down, does it? Meanwhile, Arteta's team not only had several chances to score, but also earned a penalty. This happened in the 13th minute of the match, and when Thibaut outplayed Saka, we saw a strong reaction from the players. Sometimes such episodes really become pivotal, but not this time, because in response, apart from a goal and Madrid's desire to fight, the team offered nothing on the field. Oh yes, there was a possible penalty in the 25th minute against Arsenal for a foul on Mbappe. Do you want my opinion? It's a penalty, although the referees ultimately did not award it. I just don't understand. When Mbappe makes a dash for the ball, he's held back a little, even if it's the slightest touch on the player's body. Nevertheless, Mbappe can't reach the ball anymore. And for this reason, the referees analyzed this episode for a long time, but ultimately decided that no, it's not a foul in the penalty area. That's the official verdict. There was no offside for Mbappe, and no foul in Arsenal's penalty area at that moment, either. I don't know. I think it's a penalty. What do you think? Please write in the comments. But at the same time, interesting events were unfolding, involving 2 England national team players. Bellingham and Rice had a disagreement. Jude roughly shoved his opponent, and in response, the opponent even slightly hit Jude in the face. There was indeed passion and tension in this match. But do you know what was missing? The cover of the newspaper marker gives us a hint. There are no miracles if there's no game. And then we look at the numbers and see, in my opinion, something frightening. In the first match, Madrid covered almost 13 kilometers less than Arsenal. In the second match, they covered 8.5 kilometers less. Our team simply isn't running. They are the worst among all the participants in the Champions League quarterfinals. The difference in the amount of running work further emphasizes how good Arsenal's high pressing and player commitment were. This was precisely the key advantage for London throughout the 2 matches. And this, by the way, was acknowledged by Thibaut after the match. We are a team, but sometimes it seems to me that we play 2 individually. Sometimes it works, but 3 or 4 times it doesn't. If we want to win, we need to be better. We often cross from the flanks, but this season we don't have a pure forward like Cancelo, a player who can win those duels. And admit it, you also had the same thought throughout the match. Why do we only cross into Arsenal's penalty area if there's no one to fight for? Aerial balls? Yes, Rudiger went there after set pieces because he stayed, because he had to fight for those balls, because there was no one else in the penalty area. But why did we have only this single plan? To cross into the penalty area and hope something would work out? It didn't work. Arsenal defended very well, acted compactly. They deserved this spot. I wish them all the best. We have no excuses. In both games, they were stronger than us. Well, Carlo didn't explain. He just stated that Arsenal really outplayed our Madrid in these 2 matches. We will talk more about the future of the head coach later in this video. In the meantime, here are a few points that show what Madrid and its players definitely cannot be blamed for. That is the desire to do something, and a huge number of fouls, those duels we saw on the field from Madrid's players, as well as 2 more notable moments. For example, during the halftime of the match, an argument broke out between the injured Carvajal and Saka. Danny approached to talk, apparently, and then suddenly grabbed Saka by the neck, and this was captured by the cameras. This was the tension in which the match was played. And after the final whistle, we saw how hard Jude took the elimination. He covered his face with his hands and held back tears. I will repeat once more, in terms of dedication, attitude, and the desire to make a comeback in this match, there are no complaints about the Madrid players, but there are complaints about the gameplay. As usual, I check the ratings in the app for Madrid fans. You can also do this regularly, as well as read the latest news. You will find the link in the pinned comment. Download the app and enjoy. So here are the ratings I find. Alaba and Raul Asensio had a weak match, and that's true. Courtois and Valverde, on the other hand, received high ratings. And here I agree as well. There are no major questions for them, although it's another defeat with a score of 1-2. And now let's ask the question, who is to blame for this exit from the Champions League and these 2 defeats against Arsenal? First, I'll read the comments from Madrid fans. Which Madrid players are they particularly disappointed with? Jude Bellingham. He has noticeably declined in form compared to the start of the season. Vinny Jr. The Brazilian tried to help his team, even scored a goal, but overall did not have his best match. Kylian Mbappe never found his moment in the game, and towards the end of the match, he got injured. Undoubtedly, the players bear a great responsibility for the result. They didn't run enough. They didn't capitalize on their chances. They didn't demonstrate their high level of skill. This applies to Jude. This applies to Mbappe. This applies to Vinicius Jr., even though he scored by taking advantage of an opponent's mistake. But, nevertheless, maybe you agree, or maybe not, write in the comments. Throughout this season, I see how our team is not progressing and is not ready for big matches, even in this spring stage. They were not ready to face a strong team, and this is already the responsibility of the coaching staff. Unfortunately, Carlo, we have to state that he still couldn't restructure the lineup after the departure of Tony, Nacho, and even Joselu. He still couldn't find that balance needed for big matches. That's why we lost. The physical aspect of our players also raises serious questions. And it's no coincidence that sources in recent months and, especially today, confirm that for Carlo, this season in Madrid is becoming his last. He will leave our team this coming summer. And this looks cynical, but Madrid fans in this defeat by Arsenal even find a reason for optimism. Let me read a few comments so you understand what it's about. It's likely the last time we saw Carlo leave Madrid in the Champions League. With all due respect to his achievements over the years, but this season, no. Tactics were visible. Always just hope that everything will somehow work out, and most often it doesn't. Perez is also to blame. No healthy central defenders. No replacement for Tony was found. They let Joselu too big. Reliance on Carvajal and Mendy, and all this showed in the most important matches. Yes, let's add this point too. The transfer campaign. This season raises big questions, with consideration of the number of injured players. We really lacked, throughout this season and such a tight schedule, a deep bench, and, most importantly, a quality bench. At the same time, I will stick to my opinion. In these defeats against Arsenal, the coaching staff is still to blame, as they did not prepare the team over the long months for big matches. By the way, in the pinned comment, you'll find the YouTube channel of my friends who not only share news about European football, but also analyze our failures, the failures of Madrid. Why didn't it work out for Carlo this season, and will it work out when Xabi Alonso arrives? Go watch this video and also subscribe to the channel. I think you'll find it interesting and useful as well. We will return stronger. Madrid will definitely come back. Thank you for everything. The season is far from over. Yes, we parted ways with the champions lead today, but ahead of us is the fight for the championship title and the Spanish La Liga. And we also have the King's Cup. We can still save this season. We need to get through this setback, regroup, and hope that by the end of this football year everything will be fine. Let's believe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss new videos. Like this video if you agree with my statements. And also, I look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your attention, and goodbye.